All right, good morning. Welcome to Southwest Flavor. Happy Tuesday to everyone. Thank you so much for joining in with us today. And our first guest is one of our friends of the show, Gabriel Gutierrez from Gabe's Spottless Window Cleaning.
Hey, how's it going, Ron?
Good. How you doing?
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah. It's a pleasure as always, man. It's good to hang out with you.
Yeah, for sure.
So tell us a little bit about your business.
Sure, absolutely. I'm the owner of Gabe's Spottless Window Cleaning. We've been in Tucson for 25 years. I started it just me and my wife, back in 2000, and we ran it as kind of just a side gig for a number of years.
Okay.
We had our daughter. Of course, that changes everything, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you got to start
Your whole
thinking
world
about
changes.
Everything
Yeah.
changes, and especially the income needed to provide for your family changes. So
Yeah.
I had to kind of decide what I was going to do at that point. And decided I was going to go all in on the business.
Oh, cool.
And so that's when we really started growing and kind of came into our own iteration that we have now. We incorporated in 2023. That's when I started hiring and growing the business at that point. But we have customers that we had since the beginning. So it's pretty nice. We really work hard to have the flexibility of a bigger company, but still the feeling of a small company, and that's what our goal is for Gabe's Spottless Window Cleaning. Sure.
So when you said when you started, you were doing it on the side. What else were you doing?
I did a lot of different things. The big thing I did during the window cleaning was grease trap cleaning. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, sure.
So you probably are familiar with the smell more than the actual work.
Yeah, that's horrible.
It is. It's really bad. So you do it really late at night. So
yeah.
When it was just me and my wife, it wasn't such a big deal. But it was a lot of my sleep cycle was so messed up. My circadian rhythm was just blown to bits.
Yeah.
Because I'd work, come home, take a nap, go do the night work, come home, take a nap, go out, do the work. And it was just constant changing of when I was awake and when I was sleeping. And then when we had our daughter, of course, now that, that's already messing up your sleep cycle.
Yep.
So I knew I couldn't do that anymore. I had to switch to either one or the other.
Right.
And, I tried, actually even applied for some other jobs. I even thought about just getting a normal job, a real job, as they say.
Right.
But, the window cleaning was nice because we had been doing it for so long. By that time, it was already about 10, 12 years.
Oh, wow.
We kind of had the roots for the growth. So,
right.
we had a lot of long
you already had your foundation.
Had the foundation. And it just made sense to actually do something with that foundation instead of just letting it go.
Yeah.
So, I did a lot of different things. And I always tell young people this when they ask me about starting a business. It's true, I learned how to clean windows, and that's what I do. But the basis of the foundation of my business was the customer service jobs. When I worked at Burger King, when I worked at Blockbuster, when I worked at the bank as a teller, the learning to deal with customers, learning to handle complaints in a professional way, where you win them back over when they come up upset. Making sure that you keep your word as a business owner, all of that, is stuff that I learned in those quote unquote menial jobs, those lower paid jobs.
Yeah.
And so I always tell them, don't be afraid of those. If you're going to do window cleaning, start your business, but have a side job of doing those jobs because you're going to train yourself on customer service there.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to carry it over and help you to be successful as a business owner in the future. So, but that was kind of my path. It was a little windy, but we got here.
I think all of our paths are a little bit windy, and especially, us entrepreneurs that have our own businesses.
For sure.
There's twists and turns, and of course, the economy goes up and down, and your life changes. You have kids, you get married, you have all these different things.
For sure.
Man, I remember being young and being able to work different shifts. I mean, I worked graveyard shifts. I worked, when I was a firefighter, of course, we worked 24-hour shifts. Sometimes those were standing 24s. You're going all the time.
Yeah.
So your body adapts to it.
It does, yeah.
But it's hard to do it. It's a little bit harder to do it when you're older.
When I stopped, it was the right time for my body for me to stop. Yeah, absolutely. I had run the course. I had done what it served its purpose. But I was ready to make the window cleaning the primary source of income so I could have a more stable routine in life and my body could adjust to that and get sleep. I mean, that was the biggest thing.
Right. And it's not only physical, it's mental too.
Yes.
It really is because you need to be refreshed, so that your mind can figure out those obstacles
Yes.
when you run into them.
100%.
Yeah, yeah. And you guys have been in my house. You guys have cleaned the windows and, did everything. Your service is excellent.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. So you touched on that your main thing is the customer service.
Yeah, I always tell people when we talk about business, I always tell my employees, we are a customer service company that happens to clean windows.
Yeah.
And if we have that attitude, that's what's going to put us apart from competitors, because, there's a lot of really good window cleaners. I mean, window cleaning isn't, we say it's not rocket science. You can learn how to do it. It takes a little while to do it professionally, but, within a few months, you can become a really good window cleaner. So it's the experience that is going to make us stand apart. I always say, sell the sizzle, not the steak. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
The steak is window cleaning. There's a lot of people who have steak, but when you're at a restaurant and someone orders the fajitas and you hear the sizzle coming down the way, that's what people look to, right? Like, oh, what are they getting?
Right. I'm going to have that.
And the sizzle is the customer service, is the customer experience, knowing that when we're in the house that they're going to trust us to respect their privacy. We're going to trust to respect the parts of the home that we're entering, because, a lot of times we go into parts of the home that they don't even let their family go into. It's so private, right? Because there's windows there. So we're going in and they're trusting us with their things, their belongings that are on a desk or on a dresser, that they're in the other room. They're trusting that we're not going to do anything with that.
Sure.
So that experience of being able to feel comfortable with people in your home doing work and not even worry about it, that's the sizzle, and that's what we want to sell, to make sure that people have a full experience of having the windows cleaned professionally, but at the same time feeling good about having us come over and do the work for them.
Right. And that's such a huge thing. I mean, we're in people's homes every day too. And that's just, I always tell my guys, I mean, you're entering that person's kingdom.
That's it.
That's their home. That's where their whole life is.
Yes.
Their family and everything that they do.
Yeah.
And if they feel invaded or intruded on, that just ruins the whole experience. I mean, you could be the best window cleaner or air conditioning, installer or whatever, but if you mess that up,
exactly,
then they're going to have a bad experience with you.
And the thing I always tell my guys too is to not be overly comfortable. I think sometimes when you're used to working on job sites where it's away from the main headquarters of the business, it's easy to get comfortable with that. And if you're too comfortable, that's when you start talking loud. That's when you start having personal conversations with your worker. You start being a little sloppy in the way that you walk around. And we should never forget, like you said, we're in their sanctuary.
Yeah.
This is their private place. We are guests.
Yeah.
This is never our job site. We're always guests in their home.
Yeah.
That we just happen to be there to do a job. So having that mindset really helps to ensure that the customer knows we're going to respect their home in many different avenues, and it helps them to be at ease. Yeah, for sure.
So who got you on this path? How did you learn this customer service?
Well, the customer service came out of necessity because you just needed a job.
Okay.
So, and I've always been very personable. I've always liked to talk to people, so it just made sense that I would.
You didn't have a mentor that pulled you aside and said, "This is what you need to." As a young Gabe, and said, "Hey,
I guess my dad would probably be qualified as a mentor." One of the things I talk a lot about with people who do message me and ask for advice is, again, don't be afraid of those menial jobs. I think if right now there's a lot of young people who have the mindset of, well, I'll do the hard work when they pay me for it.
Yes, and we've heard that. Yeah,
right. And so it's like, well, I'm not going to work hard until they pay me this amount of money, and that's what I feel I'm worth. But back in the day, we worked the menial jobs. That was just expected. You just did that. And what that taught is you work hard and you do the job because that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Regardless of what the pay was. Yeah. I mean, I think I was making like $3.25 an hour at Burger King, and I'm up, after school, I'm going there working. I remember I came home and complained to my dad about, Dad, it was this and that and this and that.
Yeah.
And he just says, what are you complaining about? That's work. Everybody's work is hard. Everybody's, even if you're not frying, somebody who's doing work, it's going to be hard. So he said, just act as if that's your Burger King. That's your Burger King. You're in charge, and you want to make things running smoothly and showing who you are as a business owner.
Right.
And that was
it's representing you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I from then on, every job I had, I pretended it was my company, and I acted that way, even though, of course, my paycheck didn't reflect that. But that set me up for having my own business because I did it because that's what you're supposed to do, not because, oh, I'm waiting until I get paid what I want before I actually do the hard work.
Right.
And I think that's what people don't understand. When you become an entrepreneur and you start your own business, there is so much work you're not getting paid for.
Yes.
All the behind the scenes stuff and all the making decisions and doing the bookkeeping and
and sometimes worrying about things. Or someone doesn't show up or they're not where they're supposed to be.
100%.
Yeah.
All of that stuff you're not being paid for as a business owner. That's just you're expected to do. And if you don't have that mindset of I'm going to do the work because this is what should be done, then you're going to struggle as an entrepreneur. You're going to be very disappointed. You're not going to very often.
Yeah.
so I think all of that is training that helps to prepare you for that. And if you push that away because you think, well, this isn't paying me enough, then you miss out on that opportunity that really helps the people in the long run to stand up as entrepreneurs. For sure.
Definitely. I worked a lot with my uncle when I was young. He did a lot of construction and concrete and different things. And he always said, just like leave the job site better than when you got there. Yeah. I remember one specific instance when we were doing, I think I was digging out something. I was digging some holes for some posts or something. And I was just in this little contained area. So I swept out the sidewalk and everything. He's like, no, sweep out the whole sidewalk. I'm like, well, I wasn't even over there.
Yeah.
He's like, it doesn't matter. You sweep out that whole sidewalk. Yeah. It needs to be better than what you came to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have similar things too. Like, for instance, if we use a customer's garden hose, like if we're going to wash screens, or, do you just leave the hose just laying there? You wind it up. Even if it may have been laying there when you got there, when you leave, it's wound up nice. Or if they have a reel, you put it in the reel. If they're in a container, you make sure it's in the container. But it's just showing the respect. That's the bottom line. If a customer knows that you respect them, then they can trust that the price that you're charging them is because that is worth your time. You're not just trying to milk them or trying to take advantage of them in some way. You know that you're being honest with your price, and then they're happy to pay it because they're getting the experience that they feel they
and
deserve.
You hit the nail on the head. It's that customer experience.
Yeah,
it is.
For sure.
It is. We went to a pretty nice Italian restaurant in Vegas when we were there last year because we were there for a 3-day class.
Okay,
and it was a little bit higher price than we expected, but we wanted something close because we got in late and everything. Right. And my son and I were like, look how they treat us. Look how they treat everyone else. It's the experience.
Yeah.
And at the end of the dinner, they're like, you guys are going to come back this week, right? You guys are here for 5 days or whatever. You're going to come back this week? I mean, they expected it.
Yeah.
Just because of the way they treated you.
Oh, yeah. Same thing, too. We just went to Nashville for a window cleaning convention. It's called the Huge Convention. It's window cleaning and pressure washing. But I stayed at the hotel because I didn't have a car, and I wanted to go out, and everything in the hotel was great, but it was very expensive.
Yeah.
But I wanted some barbecue. So there was a barbecue place that we walked to down there. We went there. And I was just going to go the one night, and I went there, and the service was so good, and we got the food so fast. Like, I've never had barbecue or meat come to the table like so quick. Like, we were not just starting on our appetizers, and then the entrees came.
Yeah.
And the guy was just so good. He was memorizing our names. I came back the next night because the service was so good,
Right.
So that's definitely what we aim for. We try to shoot for that as best we can. And if we can't meet that for some reason, then we do our best to try and make it right. And I think that's the important part.
Right. Yeah, that is very important. I mean, if there's that open communication, it's like, well, how'd I do? Well, I thought you guys were going to do this.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen or something. Maybe it was something in the communication, or maybe we fell short on something. And just to make it right is huge.
Yeah. And that's managing expectations, and that's whenever that happens, that's always a time for us to kind of look back at ourselves and say, okay, so where were the wires crossed?
Yeah.
Why did the customer expect this when this is what we deliver? And then, so what could be said? Like, for instance, we have an email now that we send out to our clients who are have booked a job already, and it has just a lot of questions that we've run into where we show up on the job and we're like, oh, We didn't know it had wrought iron security bars. That changes everything. That adds to a lot to the time of doing it. Or, oh, you didn't say that you had just painted the house, that type of thing.
Right.
And things that would make it more difficult for us to get the job completed in the assigned time. Those are now questions that we send out because we're trying to manage the customer's expectations. If they're expecting clean windows, but there's paint overspray all over those windows, it's going to take us longer to do it. So do we need to reschedule? Is this something that we can add another worker onto the job to make sure we get it done in that time?
Yeah.
But if we know that ahead of time, that's easier for us to make those accommodations and meet those customer expectations. So, but nothing's perfect in business. You have to roll with the punches and adapt. But if you're willing to always learn and not just be stuck in your, well, this is the way we do things kind of mindset, then it helps to reflects well on your company.
It does. It does. Well, let's take a quick sponsor break, and we will be back in just a couple minutes with Southwest Flavor.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve, through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more. We're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
Looking for a delicious meal or a place to cater your next event? Visit Tucson Tamale Market, located at 7286 North Oracle Road. They're a family-friendly restaurant and market offering authentic tamales and local products. Don't miss out on their summer bi-weekly specials. Try a new $10.99 meal special every couple of weeks. During the summer, enjoy their gift card special. Buy $50 of gift cards for only $40. Stop by and see what's new at Tucson Tamale Market.
Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road will help you with all your insurance needs. If you feel like you have a hard case due to a moving violation, a DUI, a suspended license or a car accident, contact us and come to Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road and get a quote today. Open late hours y hablamos español. Estrella Insurance, an agency you can trust.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Big Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing has a spectacular $59 drain special for the month of October. At Big Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, our highly qualified plumbers will solve your scary plumbing problems and keep the goblins out of your drains. This special is for residential properties only. Call for details at 520-492-0748 or book your appointment online at picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love track because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
Track is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting Track, Tucson's Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
I've had water and mold damage in my house twice. Both times I freaked out, but I called Steamy Concepts right away. If anyone tries to tell you to use someone else, just say no way and call Steamy today.
About a year ago, we had a flood in our kitchen, and we didn't think to call anyone else but Steamy Concepts. They were very professional, and we really enjoyed working with Steamy Concepts.
Steamy Concepts accepts all homeowners insurance. Call Steamy today or go to steamyconcepts.com.
Life is all about change and growth. You grow from renting to buying, your kids grow from toddling to driving, and then you grow from working to retiring. Is your insurance agent growing through life with you? I'm your local Allstate agent, Brittany Gutman. My team and I can help you navigate all those changes through home, auto, and life insurance. You're in good hands with the Brittany Gutman Allstate Insurance family. Call me at 520-797-7811 or email bgutman@allstate.com.
All right, we are back. We're talking with Gabe Gutierrez with Gabe's Spottless Window Cleaning. And you mentioned to me off air that you were on a magazine cover.
Yeah, so I am a writer for the American Window Cleaner magazine. It's been an industry magazine for years, since the 80s, and it's gone through a lot of different iterations, but this most recent one, we had Jersey. He's one of the guys who runs with WCR, which is a major vendor. And so it's kind of expanded, and it's turned really neat. It's updated and everything. Anyways, so I've written an article for a monthly article column called Gabe's Corner for them since 2018.
Cool.
So
hey, Shay, can you bring up that pic? There we go.
Yeah. And so I started a new school. It's called Squeegee University or Squeegee U, and they were just kind enough to, hey, let's give your school a little pub, So they put me on the cover, which was really cool.
That is cool.
I'd been on the cover of 2018. That's how when I first got started with it. But the magazine is really awesome. It's all written by all window cleaners. So have different specialties. Mine is more like company culture. So that's what Gabe's Corner is about. It's just about, kind of running your business, but really what's the culture behind your business? How do you keep your employees motivated? How do you be efficient in your business? How do you keep yourself motivated as an owner, dealing with problems, making decisions, that type of thing. So that's what it's geared for. But no, it was really cool to be on the more modern style, and they got some really cool covers the last couple of years. They've really put forth a lot of effort to make everything real stylized. But that was really cool, but I love writing for the magazine. I've written for a long time, but to be able to write about something that I enjoy, that I believe in. I really believe in the window cleaning industry. I think it's a way to help people to provide for their family in a way that, like, if someone's not going to college, if someone's not, maybe doesn't have access to some of the means that others, this is something you can start with literally $200 in your pocket, buy the equipment, start to work. And then there's such a network of window cleaners out there in the country available through Facebook, YouTube, Reddit, Discord. I mean, they're just everywhere. And there's people who will help you. And so that's what Squeegee University is designed to do, is to kind of help people get those fundamental skills and then have access to a network of window cleaners to help their growth, as they go.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay. And you're also involved with some other national organizations, right?
Yeah. So I'm on the board of the IWCA, which is the International Window Cleaners Association.
Okay.
And that's something that I've also believe in. It's a nonprofit organization. Again, it's designed to help people, educate them on how to run a business, teach them safety, which is the biggest thing that is a danger to window cleaners, from ladder use to using, we have what's called water-fed poles, which help keep them off ladders. There's these really long poles, but they're carbon fiber, shoots out pure water to clean windows. And so it keeps people on the ground, so it's safe that way.
Yeah.
But that also brings an electrocution danger in. And a lot of new window cleaners, they go into it, they buy these poles because it's a little bit easier to learn how to clean with a water-fed pole than it is to learn how to use the squeegee in a fanning motion. But they don't really learn about the dangers. And so that's one of our primary missions in the IWCA, is to teach about safety, but also just to provide, again, a networking and a community for window cleaners to turn to and to get the right answers. There's a lot of stuff out there, and as I'm sure in your industry as well, there's a lot of garbage that's out there as well. Or people setting a bad example on how to run a business. Maybe they have unethical business practices.
Or just being unsafe. We see those pictures on Facebook all the time.
That's it.
Someone on a ladder on top of another ladder, reaching over and gain something.
So, we're very similar in industries that way. So we just want to have a place where people can actually see the proper example. So the IWCA takes the lead in safety best practices. So, for instance, with RDS, which is the rope descent systems that people use to go down the building to clean windows, the IWCA works with OSHA. They're partners with OSHA to have best safe practices for those people who do that type of work.
Yeah.
But it's volunteer work. I love it. It's been something I've done now for a couple of years, and it's been a really rewarding part of my career. For sure.
Right. Yeah. And OSHA kind of has a bad name out there with the trades, but honestly, they're there to make sure you don't get hurt or your employees don't get hurt.
That's it.
And that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. And I always tell, whenever I hear someone complain, I always say, look, if you have a kid, what do you think of a parent who doesn't put them in a car seat?
Yeah.
Right? You say, oh, well, how could they do that? It's your baby. That's important, right? But the odds of getting in a car accident are still very low.
Mm-hmm.
But because your child is so important, you're taking even more of a precaution. You're going to make sure that even those odds are even lower when you have your child in your car. So is your family any less? What happens if you fall off of a ladder and you hurt yourself? And now either you're not able to provide for your family anymore because you're handicapped, you're just incapacitated somewhere, or worse, you lose your life and now your family doesn't have you anymore. Yeah. So there is OSHA. Does it have a lot of rules to follow? Yes, but there's a reason. It's because people have hurt themselves and have done that.
Those rules won't be there unless something happened.
That's it. And obviously we're not there to be policemen or anything like that. But we are there to make sure people are aware of those safety practices, the guidance that they have. There's a OSHA 1910 class that we teach, which is a 10-hour OSHA class, and it's we can help window cleaners to learn those basic ladder skills, safety skills, and other means to make sure that they can get home safe to their family, which is that's what we all want.
That's what we all want, definitely.
For sure.
Well, Gabe, thank you so much for coming on today. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been so nice, Ron. I'm so glad we got time to hang out.
Yeah, very good. All right, we will be back in just a couple minutes with Southwest Flavor.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more, we're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
Looking for a delicious meal or a place to cater your next event? Visit Tucson Tamale Market, located at 7286 North Oracle Road. They're a family-friendly restaurant and market offering authentic tamales and local products. Don't miss out on their summer bi-weekly specials. Try a new $10.99 meal special every couple of weeks. During the summer, enjoy their gift card special. Buy $50 of gift cards for only $40. Stop by and see what's new at Tucson Tamale Market.
Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road will help you with all your insurance needs. If you feel like you have a hard case due to a moving violation, a DUI, a suspended license or a car accident, contact us and come to Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road and get a quote today. Open late hours y hablamos español. Estrella Insurance, an agency you can trust.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing has a spooktacular $59 drain special for the month of October. At Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, our highly qualified plumbers will solve your scary plumbing problems and keep the goblins out of your drains. This special is for residential properties only. Call for details at 520-492-0748 or book your appointment online at picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love track because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
Track is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting Track, Tucson's Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
I've had water and mold damage in my house twice. Both times I freaked out, but I called Steamy Concepts right away. If anyone tries to tell you to use someone else, just say no way and call Steamy today.
About a year ago, we had a flood in our kitchen, and we didn't think to call anyone else but Steamy Concepts. They were very professional, and we really enjoyed working with Steamy Concepts.
Steamy Concepts accepts all homeowners insurance. Call Steamy today or go to steamyconcepts.com.
Life is all about change and growth. You grow from renting to buying, your kids grow from toddling to driving, and then you grow from working to retiring. Is your insurance agent growing through life with you? I'm your local Allstate agent, Brittany Gutman. My team and I can help you navigate all those changes through home, auto, and life insurance. You're in good hands with the Brittany Gutman Allstate Insurance family. Call me at 520-797-7811 or email bgutman@allstate.com.
Welcome back to Southwest Flavor. Our next guest is Mike Curry of Mike Curry Coaching. Welcome.
Morning.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good. We finally got to meet in person.
Yes.
Yeah. And you told me that you're a Tucson High Badger.
I am a Tucson High Badger. Go Badgers.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, we've had a couple of the coaches on the show.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had the basketball and the football coach on. So
Eric.
Yep.
Langford. Yeah.
Yep. Which he was class of '91. He was right behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We idolized him. He was a great basketball player.
He was.
Yeah.
He
that
was
like the last time they went really far in state.
Yeah.
Is when he was there. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
The 80s were pretty good in sports for Tucson
the
High.
50s, 60s, 70s
Oh,
were
yeah.
too. I mean, I
Yeah.
think they hold the record for championships for baseball and a bunch of other stuff.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're very strong in football in the 60s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us what's going on with you at this point of your life.
So I was working for Jim Click. I quit my job at the end of July. I've always had it on my heart to do like a coaching business.
Mm-hmm.
I used to want to be a teacher. My folks were teachers.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
My mom taught at Tucson High actually.
Oh,
and
wow.
Then, yeah, and my dad worked at Pima College.
Okay.
For 40 some years. He was also a tennis coach there. So.
Okay.
So I wanted to teach, and then I started getting in all the trouble that I got in, and that kind of went out the window. And so I feel like coaching is a way for me to still step in and help people in the same manner. I feel like that's kind of in my blood. And so I've always wanted to do this coaching stuff. And when I was in college, I sold educational books door to door.
Oh, wow.
So it's funny.
That's a tough job.
Yeah. Well, you're interviewing the window cleaner guy. Like that's a great way to develop that business or really any business, right? Knocking on doors is just bootstrapping the business, going out there and getting leads that way. So I did that. And I got introduced to personal development. You know, the Zig Ziglars of the world, these old school guys. And I just absolutely loved it.
Wow.
So I fell in love with that 20-some years ago. So.
And you're using some of your other obstacles in life to help coach people.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. So I came on Chris's show a couple weeks ago and talked about my struggles that I had. You know, I was homeless here in Tucson for multiple years. I actually served some prison time here in the state of Arizona.
Okay.
I got in trouble a bunch, got a bunch of felonies, and turned my life around. Yeah. And so I just, want to use the principles and the reality of it is God did it for me. Right?
Sure.
Like I had to take steps. I did some things, but my relationship with God is the biggest thing that helped me. But also, I did do certain things that I want to show people, hey, this is possible.
Yeah.
If you just kind of have a different perspective on things, people get so stuck in it's got to be this way. It's got to be this way. And there's different ways to.
There's
cat,
different
right?
ways. Yeah. There's different ways to get out of that. And when you're at your lowest, I mean, and there's no way other than looking up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that's probably when when you said this has to change.
Yeah, there was a lot of that, and I just had a conversation recently with a person about this. You would think I've got multiple DUIs. I've been arrested 20 sometimes. A normal person would say after one of those incidences, hey, this is probably not the best thing for me to do.
Right.
So it wasn't necessarily, I kept doing things that were going against what I knew was right, but I think I was so far in my addiction that it just didn't matter. And then also one of the biggest catalysts for me going deeper into addiction and becoming homeless was giving up my rights as a parent here in the state of Arizona.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So my life really fell apart then and there, and I just didn't care at all. And so the drugs were, when I was a young person, and I'm not inherently against drugs or alcohol. It's just that for me, it didn't work.
Yeah.
Okay. In the beginning as a youngster, I'm sure you may recall the 90s, right? Drinking 40s, like just having fun with your friends.
Sure.
But at some point, it became like a maintenance thing. I was trying to mask the problems that were going on in my life. And then eventually that stopped working.
Yeah.
So.
A long time ago, actually in the 90s, I worked at the Walgreens just down the street here, the old Ina and Thornydale Walgreens. And for a while, I was in the liquor department. And I remember seeing, usually it was like businessmen that would come in at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning and get their vodka.
Yeah.
And I asked one time, because I'd see him every day. And he'd say, well, this is for maintenance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I mean, it becomes a crutch. Like you just need it to, and alcohol specifically, alcohol and benzos are like the only thing you can actually die from if you try and just cold turkey stop.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, absolutely. So
your body just starts to shut down?
It does. Yeah, you're using it to survive, essentially.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie Leaving Las Vegas with Nicolas Cage?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It scared the crap out of me when I was younger when I first saw it.
Oh, wow.
But he's in the shower and he's trying to drink something and he's like shaking like a leaf,
Yeah.
And that stuff's real. I mean, for me, it was like, I'll do anything. I'll do anything to escape reality, And so the final straw, and I shared this on Chris's show, I walked into a Circle K to rob it, put a mask on, and decided something just came over me. Something told me don't do it. And then the next day I started knocking on doors, and I got a little job cleaning this guy's yard. He paid me $8.
Okay.
And I was able to buy myself some food that day.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a catalyst for change because I earned something with my own money, working, I wasn't taking.
Yeah.
And so that's a big difference too, right? Like I took from the community, I took from other people, and now I just want to give back. That's kind of my thing. So
where are some of the things that you saw out there on the streets? I mean, I'm not asking about specific instances, but just kind of as that community of homelessness and addicts out there.
Well, it's funny you ask that because I joke and tell people I was homeless before it was cool to be homeless. Because fentanyl was barely touching down here in Tucson. COVID had not happened yet.
Okay.
And I think those were two huge things.
Yeah.
To where you see what it's like out there now.
Yeah.
Right? Like I was doing heroin, I was smoking meth. Those are the two drugs that I did towards the end. But fentanyl, to my knowledge, wasn't a thing yet.
Okay.
So that it was a little more scary. I almost feel like if I had to be homeless today, at least you're like, well, there's a lot of people out here. It must not be that bad. But I mean, you see a bunch of stuff. I'm a bigger guy. I'm 6'3", 210 pounds. I didn't get messed with a lot, but you see people that want to manipulate people out there, that want to take, that want to get whatever they can. So you see a lot of people trying to hustle other people. You see, just all kinds of stuff. Now you also you see a good side too. I will say this: there are people that when they see somebody that's not doing good, they will reach out and try and help them.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they'll give them some drugs for free. And I'm not saying that's a great thing.
Right.
But you'll see kindness out there, which was amazing to me. Like I had a lot of people help me out.
Oh, wow. Okay.
As a matter of fact, my drug dealer let me live in his backyard for a while. So kind of him, right?
Yeah.
And so,
keep that customer close.
Right. Right. And going to prison, I saw this same thing where you take the drugs away from people, 60-70% of people are actually really good people. There's mental illness and there's drugs. A lot of mental illness is caused by drugs, which was the case for me. But I think most people are actually pretty decent people. It's just that when you involve addiction and these other things that really, it's a fight or flight mentality, because when you don't know when you're going to sleep at night or where you're going to get food from or this, that, and the other, it's really hard to get sober, to do anything.
Yeah.
Okay. So my fiance, Melissa, who I met when I was homeless, I met her at a liquor store. We were both in our addiction.
Okay.
She let me stay with her for gosh, it was a better part of the summer and into the fall. And that's how I kind of started my sobriety journey. But I truly feel like had it not been for her letting me live with her, I may not have gotten sober then or ever.
Right.
Because of that fight or flight mentality. Because all I cared about was getting high because I did not want to think about living on the streets. Right.
Yeah.
And so like having a roof over my head, knowing that I was safe, I was in a safe space, I could have the kind of thoughts that I needed to have to make a different decision, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. It makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've talked to some people that have substance abuse issues, and I know that, they've gone to different meetings and different counseling sessions, and it's like every day you have that choice. You're going to walk out your front door and you could walk and step into this hole that you're going to hurt yourself, or, maybe tomorrow you're going to make a different choice and go the other way and walk down the sidewalk that's nice and safe.
Right.
But you have to make that choice every day.
You have to make that choice every day. It gets a little easier over time.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing too is had I not lost literally everything but the clothes on my back, I may not have made the change because what I see with people that make a decent living that never are going to lose their house because of they're always going to keep their job, right? No matter what. And this is true with a lot of salespeople. Like you said, working at Walgreens, you see these business people come in.
Yeah.
There's never going to be a consequence that's severe enough for them to say, well, you know what, this is actually killing me inside. Maybe I should change.
Right.
Or maybe there will. But I think it's harder if you're not getting something really ripped away from you.
Yeah.
To say, gosh, I maybe I should change.
Yeah.
That
drastic life change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean it's sometimes here's another funny thing. So when I was out on the streets and I'd go to parties or I'd meet people and stuff like that, mingle with people, I'd always be the guy talking about recovery.
Okay.
And you just see people like starting to step back and go, I don't want to be around this dude.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I mean, this is just my story. I'm very passionate about it. Look, if I could sit here and drink a couple beers with you, I'd totally do it. I just know for me, I just can't do that.
Yeah.
And my life is just so much better today.
Right.
Without that stuff.
Right. So let's switch it up a little bit and let's talk about, you mentioned God earlier.
Yeah.
So when did you find God, and when did you bring him into your life so that you could make these changes?
Yeah, I mean, I went to private Catholic school. I went to St. Peter and Paul. I mentioned that on the show too. But I can remember a specific time in junior high, I was supposed to have recited a prayer. I'm standing in line with other students about to go in front of this priest and say this prayer. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know it. And I was like scared. And I just remember thinking, if this what God's about, I don't want nothing to do with that.
Okay.
I shouldn't have to feel fear
or pressure
or whatever. And then I was always in trouble. I was always in detention every week, So I just had this, I never had a relationship, put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I never remember opening a Bible. One time when I was in Pima County Jail, I got put in segregation because I got in a fight. And so you're in there for 2 weeks with just you and a Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first time I had ever read the Bible from cover to cover.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I felt like I was meant to be put in that situation for that.
Yeah.
But what I also can tell you is that for those 2 weeks, I felt like I wasn't there. I felt like I was actually living just normal life, right? Like something just brought me out of there. Because there was 3 of us in a one-man cell, and I was sleeping by the toilet. So not the best.
No.
So, I didn't get sober there. But I remember praying on the street. I can remember multiple times where I was just thanking God for keeping me alive, basically.
Yeah.
And for having what I did have. Because another thing you'll see is the mental illness starts to take over, where there's kind of it's a point of no return for some people. And thank God that didn't happen for me.
Yeah.
But I think it's when I did a 12-step program, and I really, part of that 12-step program is developing a spiritual foundation, getting a higher power, developing a relationship with that higher power. It was just stressed to me so heavily that that's what it's going to require to have long-lasting recovery and sobriety.
Okay.
So, I didn't know what that looked like. And I had a sponsor, a friend, a guide that walked me through the steps who said, okay, well, what's your conception of God? And I was going back to what I was told as a child.
Okay.
It was the white robe, the beard, the whatever, right? And then on top of that, I'm a thinker. I'm like thinking so deeply about this. He's like, dude, it's not that complicated.
Yeah.
It's either you believe or you don't. And more will be revealed as you believe, as you develop this relationship. And, all I can tell you is I've seen so many things happen in my life, even before I got sober.
Right.
But especially since I got sober, that really point to God working in my life. And I don't need to know who he is, how he works. I just know that he works. He, she, universe, it, mathematics, whatever you want to call it. God is omnipresent, omnipotent, all the things that, how can you describe the undescribable? I just did a post about this the other day.
Right.
For me, I get close to God up in the mountains. So I go up to the mountains a lot.
Okay.
And just sit there.
Yeah.
Listen for answers.
Right. Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Shay, let's take a quick sponsor break, and we will be back in just a couple minutes.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve, through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more, we're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
Looking for a delicious meal or a place to cater your next event? Visit Tucson Tamale Market, located at 7286 North Oracle Road. They're a family-friendly restaurant and market offering authentic tamales and local products. Don't miss out on their summer bi-weekly specials. Try a new $10.99 meal special every couple of weeks. During the summer, enjoy their gift card special. Buy $50 of gift cards for only $40. Stop by and see what's new at Tucson Tamale Market.
Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road will help you with all your insurance needs. If you feel like you have a hard case due to a moving violation, a DUI, a suspended license or a car accident, contact us and come to Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road and get a quote today. Open late hours y hablamos español. Estrella Insurance, an agency you can trust.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Big Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing has a spooktacular $59 drain special for the month of October. At Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, our highly qualified plumbers will solve your scary plumbing problems and keep the goblins out of your drains. This special is for residential properties only. Call for details at 520-492-0748 or book your appointment online at picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love track because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
Track is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting Track, Tucson's Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
I've had water and mold damage in my house twice. Both times I freaked out, but I called Steamy Concepts right away. If anyone tries to tell you to use someone else, just say no way and call Steamy today.
About a year ago, we had a flood in our kitchen, and we didn't think to call anyone else but Steamy Concepts. They were very professional, and we really enjoyed working with Steamy Concepts.
Steamy Concepts accepts all homeowners insurance. Call Steamy today or go to steamyconcepts.com.
Life is all about change and growth. You grow from renting to buying, your kids grow from toddling to driving, and then you grow from working to retiring. Is your insurance agent growing through life with you? I'm your local Allstate agent, Brittany Gutman. My team and I can help you navigate all those changes through home, auto, and life insurance. You're in good hands with the Brittany Gutman Allstate Insurance family. Call me at 520-797-7811 or email bgutman@allstate.com.
We are back. You're watching Southwest Flavor. We're talking with Mike Curry, and we were talking earlier. You mentioned that you used to work for Jim Click.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about those experiences and serving people and the customer service and just kind of how that helped you.
Yeah, so 5.5 years ago this month, actually it would have been 6 had I stayed, 6 years, I got hired. I saw Mr. Click at the gym at LA Fitness where I was working out.
Okay.
Asked him for a job because at that time I wasn't able to get a good job or a job that I knew would provide me with what I really wanted, which was a home, stability, things like that.
Right.
So I asked him for a job, got the job. I stunk my first 3 months. I had done sales, but the car business is a little different. If you don't sell somebody a car right then and there, the likelihood of them coming back is very small.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm the type of person that I'm not going to push somebody. I'm not going to lean on somebody. I'm not going to say things that are out of character for me just to make a sale.
Right.
So it was just more or less about figuring out how can I put, I don't want to say pressure, but how can I just communicate effectively to the potential customer that, look, you'll get the best deal today if you're willing to do a deal today.
Okay.
And we'll do whatever we can to make that happen.
Right.
And then ultimately just having fun with the customer, kind of like what we were touching on the break, asking the right questions, getting them. So I was always taught sales is about asking questions.
Yeah.
You know, I'm never going to sell you on a new air conditioner. I'm going to ask you the right questions where you're like, no, it makes sense. Like, I'm selling myself on this. I do need it.
Exactly.
I do need one. Exactly. I may not have another 6 months or a year, but it's probably better if I do it now.
Yeah.
Right. So you come to that decision on your own.
Yeah. And it's a lot of listening skills too.
Yes.
Because you're listening to the customer's needs.
100%.
Yeah. It might not only be that new air conditioner, but might be that they have a hot room that, never gets satisfied during the summer, or their kids have allergies and they need some indoor air products. So same thing with a vehicle. Maybe they're looking for that bigger vehicle because they're expanding their family, or they're looking for a smaller vehicle because of gas mileage, because they're driving a lot or something like that. So you're listening to those needs.
100%. I mean, rarely is it where someone comes in and I'll take whatever you got, just get me done, right?
Right.
Like that doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen at all.
Those are nice,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I mean, there's always so I always, like on my Facebook page, it says, or used to say, excuse me, I was a problem solver. And I really pride myself in that.
Sure.
Because if you're really truly going to listen to somebody, you're going to understand what their needs are. And I'm not going to sell somebody a expedition if they're a 2-person family and they're worried about gas mileage, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just kind of
just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And I mean, I think for the most part at Home Total Ford where I was at, we did a really good job of listening to our customers and providing a good environment where people, came in and felt comfortable and things like that, because you can see it when people pull on the lot.
Yeah.
They're just kind of closed off.
Yeah.
Because they're like, that guy's trying to sell me something.
Right.
And so I've always prided myself in that. Like, just treat people like they're your buddy. Get the guard down. Ask a lot of great questions. And the biggest thing is whether they buy or not, someone's going to buy that day if you get in front of enough people.
Sure.
So you don't have to have that pressure of, gosh, I got to sell you something. Because that's going to come across.
Yeah.
Just like dogs sense fear, people can sense that.
That's right.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about something that's really exciting that's coming up actually next Tuesday, right? After my show.
Yeah. I got a lot to live up to then.
Yeah. But you're starting your own podcast here at Live the Dream Media.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sobriety, spirituality, and sales. I've got 8 or 10 guests lined up so far.
Cool.
Week 1 is Mike Bader. He's a State Farm agency owner here in Tucson.
Okay.
Week 2 is my sponsor who walked me through a 12-step program.
Nice.
He was a liquor salesman when he got sober.
Oh, wow.
And his sponsor wouldn't let him quit his job until he developed his recovery foundation. So he was still selling liquor as he was getting sober and stuff like that. I think it's a great story.
Yeah.
Also, I've got a couple guys from Florida who are in the sales business. Okay. One guy owns a multi-million-dollar life insurance company. Got sober, sitting at his kitchen table one night. He was dead broke, and he's built this company from scratch, using the principles from his recovery and then his beliefs and his journey, his faith journey, basically.
Wow.
Another guy who played, he was an All-American at Florida State. Played for the Miami Dolphins.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. Kirk, he's going to be one of my guests. He is a medical device salesperson. He's phasing out of that. He's starting a couple businesses of his own, but he's got a great sobriety testimony too. And then I've got a guy that I met in Colorado who he's got a graphic design business in Hollywood.
Oh,
for like the movie studios.
Yeah.
And he's just got a great story too. So I'm really looking forward to that. So
wow.
just those are the kind of guests that I'll be interviewing that I'm excited to interview. For me, I mean, yes, I have a lot of experience, but I love getting to know people and just hearing different perspectives on their journey, how they got sober, how they built their business, things like that.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's more widely out there than most people know that,
Yes.
you know, people are struggling with some kind of substance addiction.
Yeah, and I mean, that was the thing at Jim Click. I got an opportunity to talk to almost every person there, and I would share my story. And they would, you know, inevitably say, well, my cousin or my neighbor or this or that.
Yeah.
So I truly feel like the more it's talked about, it doesn't become as taboo.
Yeah.
And then they can have different conversations with those family members, friends, neighbors.
Yeah.
That give them a different perspective to show them a little more grace.
Right, right. And hopefully, you know, get some help.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Ultimately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some more understanding and some help.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
on today.
That
It's
was
been a
amazing.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right. This is Southwest Flavor. Join us every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. We will see you next